Hello, welcome back to Exotic Wine Travel. I am your host, Matthew Horkey, and behind me is...
Shirley Todd.
We just got back from a wonderful press trip in Sardinia, judging at the Vermentino competition, and we'll talk all about that in future videos in a future article. But today, we're back talking about Serbian wines and one Serbian producer in particular, So we've been in Serbia now over the last year, probably, calculate. Wow, 6 months over the last couple of years. We've tasted a majority of the best that Serbia has to offer. We come away impressed. And I'm really excited about today's episode because we have 3 wines from a winery that we tasted on our first trip to Serbia. And when we first tasted these wines, we were not super impressed. They were okay. We were just not super impressed. But you know what? We tasted them just in a quick tasting about 3 weeks ago, and I was impressed. And they went ahead and sent us some samples. So thank you, Vinarija Raj. We're gonna retaste them today. I was impressed the second time I've tasted them. You guys ready? You ready to get started? You ready to get started? So Vinarija Raj is in eastern Serbia, in an area that I believe has humongous potential, especially for red wines, Bordeaux varieties. They get anywhere from 260 to 300 days of sun per year, gentle slopes down to the Danube. It's just a really cool place. This winery is really cool. It's called Vinarija Raj. It's in the town of Rajac, which is an old cellar town. These cellars were built in the 17th, 18th century, I believe, and now they're abandoned for the most part because the region was renowned for wine. It's a cool place. This couple is trying to revive winemaking in the area, along with other producers like Francuska Vinaria, Mataya, which we like quite a bit. But let's get into the wines today. What are we going to start with? First of all, actually surprisingly, Game does well in that part of Serbia. This is the Rye Game, 2012. I believe it's aged in Serbian and Hungarian oak. That's what they had in the cellar, right, when we went and visited them. The thing about this isn't Beaujolais Gamay by any stretch of the imagination. The Gamay over in this part of Serbia are powerful and big. This one's clocking in at 14.5% alcohol. There you go. You can taste it. Let's give this a little bit of a go. Here we go. First of all, it definitely has Gamay color. It's not really dark.
Lifting it up.
I don't know if you can see that. Ruby color with some red brown edges. Let's give this a little bit of a smell. You liked this when we tasted this a few weeks ago, right?
I was fond of the plot.
So there's first thing we pick up. There's a lot of wood in this wine, right? A lot of wood and a lot of the alcohol. I definitely pick up. On top of that, I get a lot of strawberry, red fruits. Anything else you want to pick up? Anything else you want to add?
A lot of chocolate,
yeah,
red cherry. It's a little bit, the cherry note is a bit saturated, coming close to the point of like cherry jam.
Okay. Definitely, I would not be able to pick out this Gamay in a blind tasting. I would not be able to at all. Let's give this a little bit of a taste. You can use that if you want.
Much fresher in the mouth.
Yeah, the palate tastes, the nose smells a little bit too woody, but the palate, you definitely get a lot of red fruit and a lot of not nice acidity. The wood doesn't show up on the palate at all, I don't think, to me. Anything else? What else do you think about this wine?
I like it. I think it's a very different expression of Gamay. You have to see it from the perspective of where they are from. The sun is captured in the wine. And I like that as much as it shows up quite heavily on the nose, it's pretty fresh in the mouth. That's what I can appreciate the most. And there is great intensity of the fruit flavors. Yeah,
the fruit is very pure, crystalline. This isn't Gamay by any stretch. You have to kind of unlearn what you've learned about Gamay. I'm going to say this is for me about 3.6. 3.6 out of 5 on Vivino. I think it's a nice little wine. Just don't expect like Beaujolais style Gamay.
Yeah, right? The chocolate is quite pronounced and heavy on the nose, but one thing is this wine can be aged for a while longer.
Yeah.
In order to see its full potential.
Let's move on here. This is the wine that we were most excited to retry. This is Plot. This is a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot, aged in Serbian and Hungarian oak. Pretty cool labels, right? What do you think of the labels?
I really like the entire brand identity. It stands out very well on the shelf.
I'm going to give this a little bit of rinse since we have a lot of wine. Yep. There we go. Let's give this a go. Hold on. You're going to rinse and then I'll... I love it. I love it. We can do this show with all the wines. You know, a lot of times we do these shows for you, and I actually buy the wine myself, so I can't put all the wines out there and go through and taste all of them at once. But this is cool. We actually get to do this today. I want to try to do more of these videos in the future. Let's take a look at this. Lighter color for a Bordeaux blend. In this part of Serbia, East Serbia, Cabernet actually gets ripe. It's one of the best areas in Serbia for ripe Cabernet, but the Cabernet takes on more of red fruit versus dark fruit, and you can see that in the color. It's not super dark. We get a red-brown light color. I don't know if you can see that. No. What do you think about the color? Not that matters. The color.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
So on the nose, this is definitely more earthy, more of that style that people are looking for in terms of Bordeaux blends. I get a lot of capsicum on this.
It doesn't bother me. You know how pyrazine note can really disturb me, but this, I think it's very well integrated.
Yeah.
And this time around, there's red fruit, there's black fruit as well.
I like the nose quite a lot. I get capsicum, some earth, black cherry, definitely. Even a little bit of graphite. It definitely smells a little bit more like a fruitier Bordeaux blend than an earthy one. Although there are earth notes. Let's give it a taste.
It's great.
Really well developed tannins. Oak integration is good. The fruit's good. What do you think? I'm pretty high on this.
The tannins are a little bit sandy. I think this can be aged for a while longer. The nose is beautiful, very balanced. Like you said, it's more towards the fruity side, but there's still a lot of earthy aspect to it. Great balance.
It's really nice. It's very enjoyable. For people that like Bordeaux blends, I say this is what happens a lot in Serbia. You get they try to make some more of the New World style fruit, but the way the climate is, the continental climate, there is some like kind of old world earthiness, so it's in between the two. You get kind of the best of both worlds.
Fantastic drinkability right now.
Drinking great right now. I'm a big fan of this. I'm going to say, I'm not huge on it. I'm going to say 3.8, 3.9 out of 5 on Vivino. What do you think?
I would score it higher.
You think so too?
Yeah.
You think it?
This is one of the very few Bordeaux blends in Serbia that has a lot of fruit. Often I find the Bordeaux blends here can be too acidic without enough fruit. This is beautifully balanced.
I'm going to go 3.9. I will stick to it, which is still a very, very good score. It's a very good wine. All right, let's move on. So we see, we have Serbia's specialty. Serbia is one of the rare places that you'll find black Tamjanika. This is the Rye Crna Tamjanika 2016. This is a fresh red wine. I'm not a huge fan of black Tamjanika. I think it's just regular Tamjanika in Serbia is a clone of Muscat. It's actually, a lot of people say it's Muscat Blanc Petit Grands. Black Tamjanika, I believe, is Muscat Rosso. I am not a huge fan of it because it doesn't smell like red wine. It's got the flowery notes of Muscat. I don't know. Let's give this a go here. So black Tamjanika, they're usually made. There's only a handful that's made in a fresh shot. That's their rinse.
That's why I was thinking, why are you pouring me some
Sharima just gave me a nasty look because I gave her a little rinsing pour, and then she thought she was supposed to drink it. All right, put this aside here. So it is definitely lighter. It's like Pinot Noir-esque in color, not in flavor. Pinot Noir-esque in color, lighter color. You know, we were with a bunch of international wine lovers a couple weeks ago here in Serbia, and they love black Tamjanika because I guess it was unique. For me, I like this better than their 15 already. It's definitely floral. for me, get light red fruits, a little bit of, kind of like if I was going in the woods and working through all this bush, this brambly smell. Anything else?
Well, definitely rose, and the typical muscat grapey. There's a grapey flavor to it.
Yeah, it's more.
I also smell a little bit of licorice that often tells me that it is a little bit extracted or heavy-handed, but not to say it's not doesn't mean that it's a bad thing.
Yeah, let me give this a little bit of a taste. This is a lighter style wine. It's floral. The tannins are very low. High drinkability. It's juicy. I'm enjoying this a lot more than 2015. What do you think about this?
Yeah, when I tasted it at the show, I liked it a lot. It's very round and smooth in the mouth, even though it's a light wine. And it finishes off with a little bit of black herb and spice.
Mm.
What I appreciate most is that even though it's a very aromatic wine, it's quite a serious wine and it has decent amount of tannins on the end palate.
Yeah, this has the subtle. So first of all, this is one of these wines that's kind of cool because it has subtle light red fruit flavors. It's not too strong. It's got floral aspects. It's got high amount of drinkability. But on the back end, like you were saying, I definitely pick up the herb. Definitely green herbs, more licorice type characteristics. I feel like the tannins are pretty low, but I think this has a great deal of complexity. This is a nice little wine.
I mean, for people who usually like sweet wine, this would be the good transition for them into a dry red wine.
I think I'm about 3.9 on this as well, maybe 4.5 because of the uniqueness factor as well. Anything you want to add on this? So really good showing by Rye. I mean, there's good scores. Like about 3.6, 3.9ish, 4.0. I think these wines showed really, really, really nice. So good. Like all of Serbia, the cool thing is these wines are not faulty at all. Technically, very well made. And yeah, there's some great stuff coming out of this country. Anything else you want to add on Rye?
I think to add on to the Black Tamjanika, so far there are not many examples. Only 3, as far as I remember, dry Tamjanika in Serbia right now. And right now, Rye is making the best Black Tamjanika, in my opinion.
For dry, exactly. There's only a few. A lot of them make it into sweet wine. There will be more I think Black Tamjanikas on the market as we move forward. So, great show. Nice job, Rye. Guys, if you like this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Exotic Wine Travel. I will see you the next episode.